Hi, my name is Adam, and welcome to No Sugar Now. Today we're going to show you how to make creamy chicken soup. And the first thing we're going to do today is pull apart our chicken. So I've got my trusty gloves here. And the reason I wear gloves is because I'm going to pull this chicken apart by hand. And the reason why is, when you pull a chicken, there's lots of grease, and it's going to get all over your hands. If you don't wear gloves, you're going to have to wash your hands for about 10 minutes with hot water and soap just to get that grease off your fingers. So here's our chicken. It's rotisserie chicken from the store. We're not going to show you how to make a chicken today, but we're going to show you how to make the chicken soup. Now, most people won't want the skin in their soup, so you can go ahead and remove that. And it's easy to remove the skin if the chicken is cold. And don't worry about being cold right now, because it's going to heat up in our soup. So, it's okay if you get some skin in there. If you like more skin, if you like skin in your soup, go ahead and leave it in. When it comes to cooking, it's really all about preference, just like so many things in life. I find this the easiest way to get the most meat off the chicken, off the bone. You got your breast, you want to rip it up into pieces, big or small as you like, and even though it's cold, it smells amazing. Now, I'm going to show you one side of this chicken and we'll come back when I'm finished. But I do want to show you a couple of different things as far as pulling off the thigh and the wing. And man, you can do so much with this chicken. You can pull this chicken apart and make chicken tacos with it. You can use half of it for a soup, half of it for chicken tacos. You can make chicken sandwiches, pulled chicken sandwiches, chicken salad, and we'll be making videos for all this in the future. Now, before I continue with the breast, I want to show you the thigh. We've got a big thigh here. You can break it off right back down at the base of the carcass and really pull all the meat you can off there. And there goes the leg. Use your fingers. Make sure you don't get any tiny bones in there. Do the best you can. Use your fingers, feel for those bones. You absolutely do not want any bones in your soup. And you also want to make sure you get that cartilage. You don't want that in your soup at all. It will not be nice when you bite down on there. But there's still plenty of meat to be had around that cartilage. And I'm going to show you this wing here, and then we'll come back once I'm finished with this chicken. Again, there's cartilage, there's bones. Use those fingers, find out where they are, get them out of there. You're not going to get a lot of meat off the wing, but it is tasty. So go ahead if you want to try and get it, get it. That's what I do. I try to use every little bit of the chicken. And if you're really handy, you can use the carcass when you're done, boil it for a few hours, and make a chicken stock for another soup. Or even this one if you've got the time. All right, that's our chicken wing. We'll see you in a moment when I finish with this chicken. So now we've plucked our chicken, as we like to call it, and I've placed it aside. We're gonna begin our soup. I've got 2 pots here. We've got a big pot because this is part of my meal prep for the week. So I'm making this for myself. This is gonna be the chicken soup. In this other pot here, we're gonna make a side for our friends and family. It's gonna be a vegetarian soup. Same ingredients, but we're gonna omit that chicken. So let's get started. I like to use chicken broth from the box. Typically I use low sodium chicken broth, but today, make an exception. And I'm going to put 64 ounces in for my meal prep. And you can give it a little squeeze. Get everything you can out of it. We've got another one here, the next 32 ounces. And let's get another 32 ounces for our vegetarian. There we go, voila. We're gonna add a couple ingredients in here first to get this stock started, get the flavors melding. I've got as much onion as you like here. Today, I've got a little bit of white onion. I'm also gonna add some green onion later on. Now some people like a lot of onion, some people hate onion, some people just want a little bit of onion. It's all up to your preference. Onion's very divisive. There we go. Now we're gonna get it started. There we go. Gotta have it on medium-high heat. Let's get our vegetarian started. Medium-high heat. Getting it started. And we're also going to add our sun-dried tomatoes. Now, sun-dried tomatoes do have sugar in it. So as usual, you're going to have to adjust it according to your needs. There's no sugar added as far as I know, but there is 2 grams of sugar per serving. And there's 17 servings in this 3.5 ounce bag. Now for me, I'm on the keto diet. I don't need a lot of sugar per day. But I'm not gonna put all this in one soup. I'm gonna split it with the vegetarian soup. And I'm not gonna eat all this at once. I'm gonna split it out between 5 days of my meal prep, and there'll also be extra for me and my family to enjoy. So you just add it to your macros, count those carbs. Put in some sun-dried tomatoes. There you have it. We're gonna let these flavors combine for about 20 minutes or so. Get the heat up, get it boiling just a little bit, and let those flavors start to come out before we add the rest of our ingredients. It's been about 20 minutes. Our soup has been simmering. The flavors of the onions and those sun-dried tomatoes are filling the air. You can smell it, it's delicious. And we're gonna add some more aromatics here. We're gonna add a little green onion. And I know you're gonna think I'm crazy about onion. And the truth is, I am. There we go. That was about a quarter to a half a cup there in the big one. And we'll go to the small one here. We'll add about a quarter of a cup, maybe you just really have to make up your mind how much you want there. And then we're gonna add some seasonings. Parsley. Parsley, we're gonna add about a teaspoon. Parsley, when it's dried, it's not as powerful as when it's fresh, so you're gonna wanna put a little more than maybe you would if it was fresh. And for our small one, we'll do about a half a teaspoon. About half as much in there. There's our parsley. Garlic powder. If you don't like garlic, you don't have to put it in, but I do, So we're putting it in. Now with garlic powder in the big one, we're putting about half a teaspoon. In the little one, again about half, we're gonna put a quarter teaspoon. There we go. Onion powder, same thing. Where's my half? There it is. Onion powder in the big one, about a half teaspoon. I don't mind getting a little garlic powder in my onion powder because I always use them together. I don't think I've ever used them without each other. And about a quarter of a teaspoon in our little one, the vegetarian. That's gonna add a lot of flavor. Now let's go on to salt and pepper. Pepper is a very important spice because it brings out the flavors in a lot of them. And again, I'm gonna use that same ratio, half a teaspoon in the big one, the 64 ounces. There we go. And a quarter of a teaspoon in the small one. And we're gonna do the same ratio with the salt again. Now it depends on how much salt you want. There is a lot of salt in the broth. This one's just under half a teaspoon here. You can always salt and pepper it later. And a quarter of a teaspoon in here, in the 32 ouncer. There you have it. We're gonna let this go for maybe 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes, and then we're gonna add some cream. Now it's been about 10 to 15 minutes. We let those flavors simmer again. And I forgot to mention earlier, you can also add a little oregano, a little basil, or a little Italian seasoning. That'll give it a little bit of an Italian flair, a little Tuscany flavor if that's the way you want to go. We're just not going that way today. But now we're gonna add in our cream. This is almost a cup of cream. That's for the 64-ounce meal prep. And for our vegetarian side here, 32 ounces, we've got about a quarter of a cup of cream. Heavy cream, that is. There we go. Now we're gonna give it a little stir. Stir it gently. And the same for our 32 ounce. Nice and gentle. And it's starting to look like the soup that we want it to be. And next, for our 64 ouncer, we're gonna add our chicken. Look at that, that's what a whole chicken gets you. Maybe 4 or 5 pounds of meat. Some of the best value you can get at the grocery store is in buying a whole chicken, whether you make it yourself or from the ready-made rotisserie at the deli. Get a grip on this. Don't splash yourself. And it's starting to look like that chicken soup that we want. We still have a couple more ingredients to add, and it'll be real nice. There we go. Stir it in, get those flavors together, get that chicken, that sun-dried tomato, those spices, and those aromatics going. And we're gonna leave this for another 10 to 20 minutes. And we're gonna add our vegetables. All right, we let those flavors meld once again. And here we are, we're gonna add more ingredients. And what is it this time? Frozen vegetables. You could put whatever kind of vegetables you want in this, but today I'm doing the keto friendly way, broccoli and spinach. Both frozen, both very inexpensive and very convenient for this type of cooking. Our meal prep Saturday. I love it. So, for our big 64 ouncer, we're gonna put a cup of broccoli, maybe two. We're gonna put 2 cups of broccoli. And that doesn't mean a ton because the broccoli, they're all different shapes and sizes. So filling up a cup can be difficult. But you gotta find out how much broccoli you want in it. Just lost some down there, we'll get that later. There we go. And you know, I would normally put a cup or more in the vegetable one. We're gonna put the rest of this in there because they don't have chicken. We're gonna fill it up with some nice beefy broccoli. And you're gonna wanna give that a stir. Get that broccoli to start melting. Maybe turn up your heat a little bit because this is frozen. It's gonna cool down the soup a little bit. We want it to be nice and warm to get those flavors coming together. Turn this one up a little bit. Give it a stir. Let's give this one a little more. Little high medium instead of medium high. All right, let's get going with our spinach. Frozen spinach, just as tasty to me as the real unfrozen deal. So here we are, 1 cup in our big 64 ouncer. I think I'm gonna add another 1/4 cup just for good measure, no pun intended. And our vegetarian friends, I think, are gonna get the rest. There we have it. And once again, you'll give it a stir. It's gonna be a lot thicker now. You've got all those vegetables in there. Stir it slow. Don't want to splash it anywhere. And that is starting to look fantastic. Here we go again. And now at this point, we have all of our ingredients in the soup. I typically let it simmer on medium high, not boil, but just simmer for about an hour or more. The longer you let it simmer, the more flavor you're gonna have there. But you know, 30 minutes, an hour, whatever you have to get that broccoli cooked, that spinach, and that chicken up to heat is going to do. So we'll come back and take a look at it when it's all finished. Welcome back to No Sugar Now. There's something I want to address that you may have noticed in the video. Some of you vegetarians out there might be a little particular about what you eat and the way it's prepared. My vegetarians, my friends and family, are not. So you might have noticed we use chicken broth in the vegetable soup. But my friends and family are okay with that. We also use the same spoon to stir our chicken soup as we did our vegetable soup. You don't have to do that at home. That's the way we did it today because the people I know, my friends and family, they're okay with that. And we'll promise to do better next time to isolate that to set a better example for those who might try this at home. Our soup has been simmering and those flavors have been melding together for an hour. And now here's our finished product. Take a look. On the left here, we have the vegetable creamy soup, and on the right we have the chicken creamy soup, or creamy chicken soup and creamy vegetable soup. Any way you want to mix it around, you go ahead and do that. If you're going to try this at home, go ahead and tell us how it came out down in the comments. And thank you for watching No Sugar Now.